Well, guys, news got me again today. As you can see, 3 trades hit the max loss limit today. Unfortunately, ended the week negative for the first time in a few weeks. Not a big loss on the week, mainly because of this huge ass win, but bounce back down to kind of where it was. So, not a great way to end the week, but I did really like the trades I took today. And yeah, I just got screwed by news twice, and it is what it is. My draw played out perfectly, just like it did yesterday, but just got chopped around in the process, and just kind of been how it's going lately. Still got a big buffer, so I ain't tripping, and I still need 2 more winning days anyways, so it is what it is. But yeah, lost today. Took 2 trades. I sized into the first one just because I did the wrong contract sizing. So the second one was the big loss. The first one was basically a break even. I did start a new combine, past half of it, pre-market, which was nice. I believe on pretty much a news candle because we skyrocketed right to my TP after chopping for a few minutes. But hopefully we get that passed. And yeah, so let's get right into this. Today we did have this news, which was orange folder, and I really didn't think it was going to have that big of an effect, but that was a very big mistake for me because this essentially stopped me out, which was kind of crazy because I've never even heard of this before, and it's orange folder, but it ruined me. So this one took me out of the first trade break even. This one took me out of the second trade for a loss. And I'll show you why it was kind of annoying. But essentially, my main issue for today was this 4-hour gap here. And I believe this chart, there is... So what the hell am I looking at here? Why am I... This 4-hour gap we did inverse. Yes, we did. So this gap we inversed. And this hourly gap we also did inverse after we took London low and Asia low. We had disrespected a few hourly gaps to the downside, but in my opinion we were super bullish, and we had inversed every single high time frame gap to the upside, and you can see we had closed above this 4-hour gap before market even opened. So in my eyes, the next target for me was going to be up to these highs. And there was this 15-minute gap here, which we also closed above right here, right after market open. Barely, but we did. And there was also this little 15 up here that had already been mitigated, but that was pretty much it for gaps. And this one did get a little bit of a reaction off of it, and these gaps, like I said, were inversed, and this was an hourly gap we inversed. So to me, looking at this today, everything was super bullish, and the best trade of the day actually came from right here, tapping into this LFVG, which is the last fair value gap. This was actually the best trade of the day after we tapped into this. That got the reaction I wanted to see, and which ended up hitting my full TP. We did not end up getting that where I entered because we rejected off this gap. But like I said, the higher time frames were still clearly bullish, and all-time highs was very close as we came into market open. We were only about 140 points from all-time highs. So anyone wanting shorts today, I did not agree with them, although some opportunities did present themselves in my opinion. But as you can see, market opens, we fail to take this low, and then we just absolutely rip up, which was kind of annoying because there was, I believe, another high that I forgot to mark out here. Yes, there was. There was a London high here, and that was kind of my target originally. And unfortunately, this got taken out like literally instantly with no entry at all. I did get in, but it was pretty late. So we do get the push, and I kind of understand why to an extent, but at the same time not really. It's just kind of how things have been going at market open. We did get this 3-minute IFVG right off open, and if you entered, like I said, we pushed up so fast. If you entered 3 minutes early, which is obviously super risky, you caught a really nice trade. I did see a few people do that, or even 1 minute early. This hit TP like almost instantly, and could have caught at least a 1 to 2 here with pretty wide stop. Unfortunately, I waited for market open. You can see we rip up real fast, and I did end up getting in basically right here after we get this bullish engulfing candle out of this gap. And at this point, I was targeting up to all-time highs because we already had ripped up so much, and my stops were just at this wick here, so it was about a 1 to 2. And this one ended up going break even right on this candle. I lost $200 due to just spread. When you're trading two minis, you won't get the best fills, even though it's not real money, which I don't understand. Like, it's just a way prop firms get you. Like, you're not actually getting filled in the position. It's complete bullshit. It's all fake money. If you guys didn't know that about prop firms, you're not actually trading real money. You're just trading simulated funds, and they just pay you out of their pocket. Like, you're not actually trading. So I don't understand why that's so bad. But I did lose $200. I was break even, but I got a shitty fill. And like I said, this trade actually went pretty well. We did take London high right there. I was up about 2 Gs. And we create this nice 1 minute gap. And I figured we were going to hold this gap. And we end up coming up to this 15-minute, tapping into it, barely missing this high by about 10 points. And then we dump right here. You can see where I got stopped out because Rubio says Iran, we're not there yet. And then we dump. As soon as he says that, we have a 61-point down candle, and then we continue the move down. Was that a good trade? Yes. Was the entry not great? Yes. But would I take it again? 100%. Very bullish bias. Like I explained, all the higher time frames were pretty much leaning towards the buy side. And a nice tap, really good displacement out of the gap. And yeah, pretty solid trade. It just didn't play out due to news. I do think if we didn't have that news, we would have respected this gap. As you can see, we did clearly come up to this high not long after. But yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't play out. And I did see some people take shorts off of this. So obviously we get the 1 minute IFVG, a tap back into it. I did see a few people take shorts right here down to this opening low. And I did not like this at all. I think this is a complete pattern trade, guys. Even if you got your stops out of this 50-minute gap. Yes, it did play out. But like I said, all the higher time frames are leaning bullish. At this point, we have this huge 5-minute gap that we hadn't even really touched yet. I mean, we wicked into it a little bit, but there was a real good chance we went back up. And for people to take a short off this, it was a complete pattern trade. Off the first 1 minute IFVG you see, I didn't like this whatsoever. Yes, it did play out. If you won on it, in my opinion, you got lucky. But it did play out mainly due to news. And yeah, so that was somewhat of a decent trade. But personally, I did not like it. I actually ended up taking a long right about where that entered after this candle here. You can see we tap into that 5 minute gap, and right as this closes, I wanted to say I thought there was a 4 hour today, but maybe I'm tripping. I thought we hadn't inversed this 4 hour at this point, and then we did finally at 7, but clearly not. Clearly I'm tripping out. But there was some sort of higher time frame gap, and I can't seem to figure it out. But I know I'm not crazy. I know I was looking at something, and the 7 o'clock candle was very important to me. And the fact that we pushed up, and we ended up getting this push up after we fully wicked out this 5 minute gap, and then we clearly get a 1 minute inversion on here. Nice displacement up. I actually entered like right as this candle closed, and then instant stop loss, because not even gonna lie, I did not take into consideration that news at all, and I did not think it was gonna have that much of an effect. And I was targeting up to here, and I lost $3,000 in like a minute on this trade. Unfortunately, we just straight nuked as that news came out, down 64 points. And yeah, that was my big loss on the day, just due to this. I really didn't think that was going to have that big of a deal, but it came in way under forecast. So that was probably why. I don't even really know what that is, but yeah, that was my 2 trades for the day. And I'll show you guys what I think the best trade of the day was. I believe this was probably a data candle yeah, it was a data candle. So this essentially was a data low here, and this was the best trade of the day. I don't have data lows marked out, but we chop into this 50-minute last for value gap, sweep the data low, very strong V-shape inversion off of it, and even on the higher time frames we had no gap. We're still respecting the 5. 3 minute we had nothing until up here, so you had time to go break even if we were going to reject off that 3 minute gap. And this one, in my opinion, was an insanely nice trade. Unfortunately, I hit my loss limit, so I couldn't even take it. But we get that inversion, we tap back into it, you enter right on this candle here, and you target back up to this high right here, or you target up to this high. And yes, this took a very, very, very long time to play out. About 3 hours, but there was zero drawdown at all. And if you had your stops at the bottom of this wick, you're catching a 1 to 5 at least. And that's with a pretty wide stop loss with zero drawdown. So that was an absolute banger today. No doubt that was the trade of the day. And even, let's say you wanted to play it safe and you waited till we got the 3 minute inversion, like all the way up here. Like, let's just say you got in here, you're still catching a lot of R with, again, zero drawdown. You're still catching a 1 to 3, playing it super safe too. We'd already inversed this gap. And yeah, so this whole leg up, you basically could have took longs anywhere. And unfortunately, I got screwed around on this little manipulation before we ran up 250 points. And yeah, so if you caught this trade, that is an absolute banger. good job. That is one of those generational trades where you can make a fuck ton with small contract sizing because you catch so many points. And if you had the balls to hold it all the way up there, again, really good job, because I know that shit ain't easy holding the trade for 3 hours. That's heavy in profit. But yeah, that really shows the importance of these LFVGs here, the last fair value gap on a leg, because you can see we blow through a bunch of gaps, and this last one we tap into it, and that's where we get the explosion off of it. So yeah, overall my bias was dead on today, and it just, this one 15-minute candle ruined me. And that's just how it goes in trading sometimes, not always going to be perfect. Little mistakes like I made today, like not considering news. And the first one, I wouldn't even call it a mistake. I got out of it break even. But I could have changed my TP down to that 15-minute gap and caught about $2,500, called it a day. So it's just little things like that, and there's always things to improve on. And shitty market conditions cause you to make more mistakes, in my opinion. So when you get stuff like this that's just kind of random, you're gonna end up making mistakes. So don't beat yourself up over it. There's always another day. There's always this big banger trade you can catch at least once a week, I would say. And it just takes that one trade to make back all the losses, like that $8,000 win I had on Tuesday. So yeah, next week I believe we have a bank holiday on Monday, so futures isn't closed, which means you can still trade, but I believe it closes at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so about 2 hours early. And my time, it closes around, I think, 9:45, I want to say. So you're really only going to get about 3 hours in the morning. So if you are trading that day, I would not recommend it. But if you are, I would only trade to maybe go for like $150 winning day. I would not aim for anything crazy. I wouldn't even trade, to be honest. But yeah, so Sunday open, we'll see if we gap up or down. At this point, we are back to looking pretty bearish. We have inversed a bunch of gaps, and we just closed below this hourly, and this one's already inversed. So there is a chance we move lower. We'll see if we gap up or down, because every single week lately we've been gapping up or down on the Sundays. But other than that, there's pretty much no news next week. Thursday's got a decent amount, but other than that, it's pretty empty. So if Trump just shuts the fuck up, we should have a pretty chill week, and it should be a good opportunity to make some money. So yeah, I'm going to try to pump out another how-to video, maybe just a psychology video this weekend. I'm going to try to do one every weekend from now on, just because I want to grow my channel a little bit. So you guys might see me tomorrow or Sunday. We'll see. But if you don't, I'll catch you guys on Monday, and I hope you guys all enjoy your weekend, and we'll get back to it next week. So with that being said, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.